Jack Bradshaw joins us now for the honeymooning Brian DeJean. And Madison Square Garden has not been home sweet home lately for the New York teams.
No, Sherry, it hasn't. The Knicks lose to the Pacers in Game 5, and then in hockey, you have the Canucks stealing one from the Rangers. In the history of the NHL championships, no team has rebounded from a 2-0 deficit at home to win the Stanley Cup. The Rangers were well aware of that fact as they hosted Vancouver for Game 2 of the NHL Finals. Mark Messier getting ready to face Kirk McLean after his Game 1 52-save effort, but it was Doug Lidster drawing first blood with his first goal as a Ranger. The Canucks get even. Ronning shot sets up Sergio Momesso. He ties the game at 1 in the first. In the second period, Messier sets up Glenn Anderson for the shorthanded goal and the 2-1 lead. Late in the third, Brian Leetch's open net goal seals a Ranger 3-1 victory as they tie up the series at 1. Game 3 is Saturday night at 8 in Vancouver. The other New York team in the playoffs on the road is the Knicks. After dropping Game 5 to Reggie Miller and his Pacers, Patrick Ewing and company find themselves with their backs to the wall. New York is in a must-win situation while the home team, Indiana, is just one victory away from heading to the NBA championship round for the first time. Game time is 9 o'clock tonight. Home sweet home. After dropping 4 out of 6 games on the road, the Marlins are glad to return to Florida to host the red-hot San Diego Padres. The Fish are 1-2 against the Padres this year. That one win came with the help of Gary Sheffield, who is nursing a sore shoulder and will not play. Another Fish out of season is pitcher Jeremy Hernandez. A herniated disc in his neck has the reliever scheduled out for the season. He's going to get some surgery on Monday. Tonight's matchup beginning at 7:35. Wally Whitehurst takes the hill for the Padres, who are on a 6-game winning streak, and it's Pat Rapp for the Fish, who is 2-0 lifetime against San Diego. Now, although the Marlins did not pick up many wins on their recent road trip, they did execute a few nice plays, as well as falling victim to some, and we have them. Along with a little NHL action, we start off primetime plays by taking you to the streets of San Francisco. Now, Sherry, some quick notes. The 1994 College World Series is underway in Omaha, Nebraska. The defending champion LSU Tigers is taking on the Florida State Seminoles. Pitching for the Seminoles is Paul Wilson. He was drafted yesterday #1 by the Mets organization. The Florida Marlins had the 5th choice in the draft, and they took Josh Booty, shortstop, maybe help them out in the future. Tomorrow, if you have nothing to do, the A1A Flea Mart is hosting a baseball card show and auction, and they'll have plenty of neat stuff there. That's happening in Indian Harbor Beach, so if you have free time tomorrow, go check that out.
Okay, thanks, Jack. We'll be back in just a moment. Who's sitting in for Brian DeJean joins us now with sports and an exciting series between the Knicks and the Pacers.
A series that could have gone either way was only decided in the final seconds of Game 7. Do or die, that's what Game 7 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals was all about. The Indiana Pacers vying for their first trip to the championship round, while the New York Knicks were looking for their first return to the finals in over 2 decades. Both Patrick's Ewing and Riley doing all they can to keep the Knicks in this game, which wasn't easy. Indiana's Byron Scott, 5 for 5 in the first half, scored 17 points to help put the Pacers up by 12 in the third. But Ewing's 24 points helped to bring New York back within 2 after 3. In the fourth, 30 seconds left, Pacers up by 1. Stark misses, but Patrick doesn't. Knicks by 1. Indiana's last hope, Reggie Miller. 25 in the game, but none here. Knicks win 94-90 and advance to play Houston in the finals. In the majors, 2 streaking teams meet head-to-head tonight in Joe Robbie Stadium. as the Florida Marlins, winners of 4 straight, play host to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are trying to recover from dropping 3 in a row to the Braves. The Marlins, 1-2 against the Dodgers this year, have successfully rebounded from a dismal road trip by sweeping the Padres over the weekend, while Los Angeles, clinging to a 3-game lead in the West, would like to get back on track by taking advantage of a Marlin team decimated by injuries. With Sheffield and Magadan out of the lineup and Harvey and Hernandez not in the bullpen, the Fish have gotten by on the strong performance from utility fielder Jerry Brown and reliever Rob Nen. Tonight's contest begins at 7:30 with the veteran knuckleballer Tom Candiotti on the hill for the Dodgers, going up against Mark Gardner, 1-2 on the year, as he tries to extend the Marlins' win streak. After a come-from-behind opening round win against LSU on Friday, the Florida State Seminoles' next opponent was a team enjoying their first trip to the College World Series, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. To Omaha we go. Top of 5 tie game, 2 men on. That's when Jonathan Johnson delivers to Jason Varitek. He nails a foul pole for a 3-run homer. Yellow Jackets up 4-1. Seminoles come back on Mickey Lopez's sac fly. That ties the game. Top of the 10th, things get ugly for the Noles. Georgia singles in 2 runs. FSU walks in 2 more. Then David Yoakum gives up the grand slam to Matt Sayer as Georgia Tech beats FSU 12-4. Okay, next up for FSU, they must defeat Cal State Fullerton tomorrow night in the second round of this double elimination tournament, or they're done. Now, in baseball news, in the majors, the Tampa Bay area fans are getting their hopes up again because Major League Baseball is deciding this week whether to add 2 more teams to the majors, and one of the favorite sites is Tampa Bay, the other one is Phoenix. And quickly, tomorrow night on Primetime Sports, I'll have a preview of Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Series between the Rangers and the Canucks, so you're going to want to tune in for that.
Okay, thanks, Jack. We'll be back right after this. Joins us now with sports, and it was a wild game last night between the Marlins and the Dodgers.
Sherry, it was excitement from the opening pitch until the last one. There's no place like home. The Dodgers, who haven't won a game since they left Los Angeles last week, had hopes of turning things around as they headed to Florida to face a Marlin club with an injury list that was growing daily. But also growing was the Marlins' win streak in Joe Robbie Stadium. Top of the 3rd, LA's up 4-2. Raul Mondesi, Rookie of the Year candidate, takes Mark Gardner deep to left. The Dodgers hit 4 home runs in the game and took a 9-3 lead to the 7th. When out came Candiotti, in comes Dreifert. He gives it the 2-run double to Diaz. Osuna comes in to pitch, and he gives up the RBI triple to Carr. Dodgers and Marlins each get 1 in the 8th. Fish go for the lead, but Santiago's dead meat at the plate. Bottom of the 9th, Jesus Tavares pinch hit single, scores Magadan to win a wild one for the Marlins, 11-10. The Dodgers will try again tonight at 7:30, sending Ramon Martinez to the hill. Martinez has won his last 4 decisions and will be opposing Dave Weathers for the Fish as he tries to extend Florida's franchise record winning streak to 6 games. With summer approaching and the kids out of school, many parents will be looking for ways to keep their children busy. For the 3rd year in a row, one of your options is Andy Russo's Panther Basketball Camp. The event is broken up into 3 sessions. The first one starts on Monday. It's open to boys ages 7 to 17. Coach Russo is in his 3rd year as Florida Tech's basketball coach. He'll be teaching fundamentals in all phases of the game.
Of course, we have speakers that come in. We have NBA players that come in, college coaches, high school coaches that not only talk about basketball, but things that might be important otherwise in a guy's life, academics, you know, the drug message, you know, kind of keeping their citizenship up and so forth and so on. So we do touch a lot of things. It is a good experience.
As Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Championship approaches, the Canucks are starting to experience the mounting pressures of the playoffs. Down 2-1, Vancouver needs a win to even the series before it heads back to New York. The momentum in this best-of-7 series lies with the Rangers, who came back to win Games 2 and 3 following a tough overtime loss to the Canucks in Game 1. Vancouver's advantage tonight will be the return of Pavel Bure, who is back in the lineup following his Game 3 ejection for game misconduct. Face-off in Vancouver will be just after 9 o'clock. An ugly win. That is how Miami Hurricane coach Jim Morris described his team's victory over Auburn in the College World Series, but it is preferable to the alternative. The Hurricanes already have 1 loss in this double elimination tournament and can't afford another. The Canes play Arizona State tonight in Omaha. A victory would send them to face Oklahoma, while a loss would send them back to Miami. Real quickly, Sherry, FSU played this afternoon against Cal Fullerton State. They had an early lead, but gave it up. They were victims of the long ball. Fullerton State won 10-3. So FSU is on their way home.
Bad news. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Jack. We'll be back right after this.
Isn't this a bad time to lose your glasses?
Jack Bradshaw joins us now with sports. And were the Marlins and Dodgers able to match the excitement of Monday night's game, Jack?
Sherry, last night's game had a different type of excitement altogether. On Monday, fans witnessed a hitting clinic in Miami as the Dodgers and Marlins combined for 37 hits. The focus of Tuesday night's matchup was pitching, as LA sent Ramon Martinez, their hottest hurler, to the mound to try and stop a 4-game losing streak. We take you to the second inning when umpire Joe West could wait no longer for Raul Mondesi to step in the box. He tells Dave Weathers to pitch, strike one. Lasorda argues the call, the ump laughs, but so does Mondesi because he extends his hitting streak on the next pitch. Now that's at 12 games. Caro scores on the plays, and LA led by 2 after 2. Martinez was magnificent. Jerry Brown lines off his arm, but Ramon makes the play and finishes the game, holding the Marlins to no runs on 3 hits. Dodgers win by 2 as Billy Marlin gets a bath. The rubber match in this series starts tonight at 7:30. Pedro Estacio will try and give LA their second win on this road trip before they head to Chicago. And Pat Rapp will finish this homestand for the Fish, who leave for Pittsburgh following the game. You probably know that soccer is the sport of the world. You may also know it's seen a tremendous success in Brevard County in recent years. But what you may not know is there's a group trying to do the same from coast to coast.
Most of the people that participate are from different parts of the world, but they're American citizens or people who have really made their lives in America now. And these people who are born and bred on soccer are really bringing it to the grassroots of this country.
That's the focus of World Cup USA's Legacy Tour, building a foundation for soccer. Right now, the tour is winding its way across the country, educating people of all ages on the game known throughout the world as football. Andrew Shoestar of Fox's Melrose Place feels that introducing America's youth to the game will keep them off the streets and out of trouble.
We get young people out there playing sports, get them off the streets and doing other things. I think that's great. I think it's great for soccer and it's great in general. So that's what the Legacy Tour is all about going to the 9 different cities and stopping in towns in between the 9 different cities and trying to build an enthusiasm for soccer.
The tour winds up just in time for the start of World Cup play later this month. Brian Dejan, Primetime Sports.
The countdown is now under 50 days until the first competition of the 1994 AAU Junior Olympic Games. That gives the Space Coast less than 2 months to prepare for an estimated 10,000 athletes expected to participate in 23 sports. The Amateur Athletic Union's Junior Olympic Games is the largest national multi-sport event conducted annually for the youth in the United States. One of John Muldoon's many responsibilities is getting the Brevard County event sites ready for the games.
This is going to be a top-of-the-line track with a latex surface on it, and Palm Bay will have they'll have a structure in place where they can bring in state track and field tournaments.
Now, Sherry, these renovations are not temporary. The students of Palm Bay High, as well as the community, will be able to use and enjoy these facilities for a long time to come. Quick note from the College World Series in Omaha. Arizona State hit 5 home runs last night to defeat the Miami Hurricanes 9-5. That knocks Miami out of the tournament. And in basketball, tonight's the night for Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. That happens at 9 p.m. down in Houston. I'll have highlights all tomorrow night on Primetime Sports.
Okay, we look forward to it, Jack. Thanks. We'll be back right after this.
At some car dealers.
Joins us now with sports, and the NBA Finals are finally underway.
Well, after over a month of playoffs, things finally got started last night down in Houston. And heading into Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Knicks had a plan. They wanted to do what they do best, focus on defense and keep the score close. But the Rockets had a plan as well, to give New York more defense than they could handle. To the Summit we go in Houston for the matchup between Ewing and Olajuwon. And it was Hakeem the Dream with the D, causing Ewing to miss. Both teams combined for over 100 missed shots in the game. These guys could not buy a bucket. Houston did manage to score more than New York. Late in the game, Otis Thorpe, he finds the basket to give the Rockets a 4-point lead. This forces Ewing to shoot for 3 in the end of the game. He misses, and Houston wins 85-78. Game 2 is Friday night at 9. Losing in sports is never fun, and some losses are worse than others. But the hardest ones to accept are the games you lead and let slip away. Just ask the Los Angeles Dodgers. Their bullpen has lost more than half of the games they were supposed to have saved. Bad news for the Dodgers, Good news for the Marlins. Joe Robbie Stadium's second inning, 2 Dodgers aboard, and Tim Wallach redirects a Pat Rapp fastball over Chuck Carr and over the fence for a 3-1 lead. LA would give their bullpen a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the ninth. Florida would get 2 fish on base, and Lasorda could feel this one slipping away as Monday's hero Jesus Tavares ties the game with a pinch hit single to left. He ends up scoring to win the game 5-4 on a line drive by Mario Diaz as the Dodgers let another one slip away. The Marlins, who have won 6 out of their last 7, begin a 7-game road trip tonight in Pittsburgh. Charlie Huff gets the call for Florida as the Pirates send Zane Smith to the mound. Game time is 7:30, and you can catch the Marlins right here on WIRB TV 56. During a baseball season, there are only 2 days when there is no ball game on television, the days before and after the All-Star break. This season, the Manatees and WIRB TV 56 have cut that number in half. Wednesday, July 13th is WIRB Day at Space Coast Stadium. In addition to airing the game live between the Manatees and Dodgers, we'll be broadcasting primetime news and Talk of the Coast live from the ballpark. You can either watch it at home or you can join us in Viera on July 13th. Game time is 7:30, but the fun starts at 6. And if you are looking for a new way to have some fun and get some exercise, Ultimate Frisbee may be the game for you. What is Ultimate Frisbee? Well, let's hear from the people who play.
Ultimate Frisbee is kind of like a combination between football and soccer and basketball.
Ultimate Frisbee is a combination of soccer, 7-man flag football, if you really played that.
Ultimate Frisbee is a lot like rugby with a Frisbee.
It's kind of like football, basketball, and soccer.
There he goes, deep!
Ultimate Frisbee incorporates aspects of many sports. The object is to move the Frisbee or disc downfield into your opponent's end zone, similar to football. When your team is on offense, you can pass the disc in any direction to any teammate, just like soccer. But, like in basketball, when you receive a pass, you must stop and establish a plant foot, and no running with the disc. You must pass it in under 10 seconds, or a change of possession results.
Everybody can play. I'm the senior out here at 39. Some of those guys, well, they could be my sons, but I won't say anything. But we're pretty good. We have a good group of people, and it just keeps going. We just would like to get more and more people out here.
Okay, rain or shine, the Ultimate Players meet every Sunday morning at 10:30 in Wickham Park in Melbourne. Real quickly, Rangers have a chance tonight to end a 54-year-old jinx, winning the Stanley Cup. All they need to do is beat the Canucks in New York.
Okay, thanks, Jack. We'll be back right after this.
Tonight's Sportscast has...
Now with sports, and the hockey playoffs aren't quite finished yet.
As of yesterday, fans figured last night everything would be all finished, but the Canucks had a different idea on what the way everything should play out. As of Game 5 in the NHL Finals got underway, New York was ready. Extra police were on hand, the Stanley Cup was in the house, and the champagne was on ice. And beer sales were scheduled to end after the first period. All the Rangers needed to do was defeat the Canucks one last time. Third period in New York, fans were not happy. They couldn't get a beer, and the Rangers trailed by 3. Things would change. Still no beer, but the Rangers score. Doug Lidster gets things started. A couple minutes later, Mateau is denied, but Lammer isn't. Canucks lead is cut to 1. Then Mark Messier ties the game at 3, and the fans forget about the beer until Pavel Bure comes down, drawing the attention. He feeds Dave Babich, who scores, and the Canucks deal the Rangers a sobering loss, 6-3. Game 6 is Saturday in Vancouver. As the Marlins headed into a 4-game series with Pittsburgh, they were riding a wave of success, winning 6 out of their last 7 games. Starting pitcher Charlie Huff hoped that wave would not break just yet. The last time the 46-year-old Huff beat the Pirates, Jimmy Carter was president, and most of his teammates were in Little League. Out to Three River Stadium, third inning, Charlie gets in trouble. 2 bucks on board, and Orlando Merced lines a 3-2 fastball to right to give the Pirates a 2-run lead. Sorry, Charlie. Merced was in a 1-for-17 slump before that double. Huff's counterpart, Zane Smith, would show the D. He snags Mormon's liner right here, but Conine makes it back to second base, so they would not get that double play. In the 9th, Jesus Tavares tries to start a rally, but Garcia won't let it happen. He throws to Young to get the out as the Pirates win 3-1. Pitch will try again tonight, sending Chris Hammond to the hill. He shut down the Bucks, holding them to 2 hits back in May. Paul Wagner will get the start for Pittsburgh in his first appearance against Florida this season. You can catch the Marlins right here at 7:30 on WIRB TV 56. Memorable plays don't exclusively occur on the professional level. They can happen anytime in any game. With that in mind, we start off primetime plays at the College World Series, checking out today's young stars and tomorrow's rookies. Okay, real quickly, tonight at 9, Game 2 of the NBA Finals down in Houston between the Knicks and the Rockets. Rockets won the opener. Knicks have a chance to even it up tonight. The next 3 games are going to be played in New York, so the Knicks would really like this opportunity to even things up.
I bet they would.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack. We'll be back right after this.
At some car dealerships, when they say they'll do anything to get your business, they really mean it, including...
Said, forget it. General store has been...